Nice to meet you. My name is Jasmine. I'm a local student, and I'm involved with the organization Humboldt for Palestine. You can find us on Instagram at Humboldt FOR Palestine, and you can find us on Facebook under the same name. We are clearly part of the organization Humboldt for Palestine, and we are taking to the streets once a week, as well as meeting with our local elected officials on city council here in Arcata and in Eureka to call for a ceasefire, to call for the liberation of Palestine and of Palestinian people who are currently under Israeli apartheid, and to call for an end of U.S. funding of Israel, including the $14.3 billion aid package that Biden has proposed, as well as the, I believe, over $3 billion that we send them every year.
So tell us about the rally here. What happened today and why is it so important?
Today was incredible. I think we had the largest turnout that we have had so far. We started here in the parking lot. We marched over towards Chase Bank and past Chase Bank and up into the plaza where the farmers market occurs every Saturday. We marched around the plaza a couple of times, and then we spent about 20 to 30 minutes in the plaza taking it as a moment for a call to action. We understand the power that a protest can have and the power that seeing lots of people speaking out and marching and chanting and carrying signs for can have. It can raise awareness. So what do we do with that awareness? We want to give people some real tangible ways that they can act and that they can make a difference.
Okay.
One thing that we plugged was texting Ceasefire to 51905. It is run by Jewish Voice for Peace, an anti-Zionist Jewish organization that, among other things, is fighting for Palestinian liberation right now and organizing for Palestinian liberation right now. They shut down Grand Central Station. They took over the Statue of Liberty, shut down the Brooklyn Bridge. They're taking action across the country right now.
I did catch wind of that. So even if you're in Humboldt County, California, on the far tippy edge of the West Coast, you can still touch base with people in New York who are protesting for the same reason.
And they're a national organization, so they have chapters in Santa Cruz, in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, really across our nation.
Okay. They also host webinars on Wednesday. We attended one that was called Gaza 101. So if you want to learn more about this, they've
been doing great educational outreach as well.
We also have their backing for a resolution we're bringing to City Hall. That we've brought to City Hall, to both of them,
we brought
Arcata
to both
and
City
Eureka.
Halls, and we got them put on the future agendas this week in Arcata, next week in Eureka.
So that was another call to action today.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about that. The resolution, what specifically does it state in a nutshell?
So the resolution is still under works, and it will be essentially until they vote on it on Wednesday night.
Okay.
We are in contact with council members, and we are in contact with community members as well as members of our organization, trying to find a resolution that folks can feel comfortable with, but that also condemns Israeli apartheid, recognizing the violence that has been happening for over 75 years, and calling for an end to U.S. aid and for a ceasefire now, and a return of all hostages and people who are unfairly detained on any side.
Got it.
We want an end to violence. All prisoners and hostages, we should believe people should be let free. We know that there are at least 200 hostages held by Hamas. We also know that Israel has been detaining journalists, protesters, activists in Palestine for years.
Right.
There is a reason Palestinian voices are made to be small, and it's intentional. So we are going to be shifting our Saturday protests from the plaza. We are now going to be at the Eureka Courthouse at 4 o'clock on Fridays. We will be gathering and standing all along the sidewalk for a while, marching potentially through Old Town Eureka as people are getting off of work and are running their after work errands. Ending back at the courthouse. We'll be there for at least 2 hours every Friday, 4 to 6.
Humboldt for Palestine, not the number, just FOR.
Okay, Humboldt FOR Palestine.
And the Instagram is the same thing. All of our events should be posted on there, and actions that we are taking, as well as actions that you can take if you would like to support us,
And
including...
there's a newsletter coming soon.
Oh,
Yes,
that's cool.
That's not what you were gonna say. What were you?
I didn't know that. I was going to say, because also another great action that folks can take if you consider yourself a nonviolent person, if you consider yourself someone who is an activist for peace, an activist against occupation and for the liberation of all peoples, write to your elected council member here in Arcata. If you're in Eureka, write to your elected council member in Eureka. Tell them we need to pass a resolution that centers Palestinian voices. We need to pass a resolution that centers Palestinian liberation and Palestinian freedom. Because clearly neither of us are Palestinian. Neither of us are even the original organizers of this organization or of this protest. We are trying to show up and use our voices to uplift voices that have been marginalized and silenced for far too long.
This is also
Yeah.
going on a tangent, I guess, but it's not a religious conflict. It is a settler colonialist state oppressing someone that
Impressing
has been
indigenous people.
suffering for over 75 years.
Thank you for that, you guys. Do you have anything you want to add? Did I hit everything?
I think we hit everything.
Right, call city council, show up for public comment. Like, we can do this with the numbers. If you look at the polls, over 80% of Democrats support, the majority of Republicans support. We're not divided, so together,
And the majority
we
of
can make this happen.
Americans also support a
just-
ceasefire. We don't want our tax dollars funding a war. We don't want our tax dollars funding a genocide. We need Palestinian liberation. If Israel wants to have any claim of goodness or of being ethical, they need to stop what they are doing. Because there's no way the world will be able to trust them after this.
Who does the ceasefire benefit? All around.
It benefits everyone, and even benefits us because our tax dollar money is going towards bombs. There's protesters in Oakland and in Tacoma, that are clinging to the boats, trying to get them to not leave
Send weapons.
the
wow.
ports. So
Yeah.
people that are loading the guns onto the boat will stop what they are doing and walk off. Like, everyone is supporting this. It benefits everyone. And I just want to make sure we are centering Palestinian voices, because they're the voices that are being oppressed. We need to get uncomfortable and use our privilege to speak up for them.
Okay, thank you for that, you guys. Is there anything you want to add?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. We had our call to action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Palestine.